Here are some other paints that I use. These are the three-dimensional paints that you can buy, called Scribbles 3D paint, and we've got these puffy paints. These are dimensional fabric paints, and again, you know, if you want to use them to create raised detail on your fabric, you would use those. Here we've got tulip colour change. So basically you apply it and then it's still 3D paint. It changes colour. So say for this one it's supposed to change orange in the sun. So you could have, you know, the idea is that you've got a t-shirt and you add this and you can't see it until you get in the sun, and then it starts to change its colour. Now I think they came in set of 12 and I brought 2 packets and nothing happened for me. It was just like it's not as if you could do anything wrong. You literally just apply it and put it in the sun. Now we're in the tropics and I saw nothing. I might give it another go, and this one I have mixed with glitter. So one of the things that I thought I would do with these is mix them with glitter so that I can actually use them on fabric, and then just the glitter will colour them. So that's these ones. The ones that I really like are these Scribbles ones, the 3D paint, because some of the colours can be very shimmery. You get some really nice effects with, let me put these away. You get some really, especially the kind of shimmery, iridescent ones, rather. And then you've got neon colours, and it's a neon yellow. But it looks really nice, and what we're going to do is, I'm not going to go through every single one, but just kind of the main ones. This is Aptly glue, but I don't use it as a glue, I use it as a, oh, was I using it in the wrong? It's just got a really lovely colour, it's a bronze colour, but according to this, permanent washable water-based glue for applique, foiling and decorative on card, fabric, wood, leather. So most of these you can use on other surfaces. The other one I got this cheaply at Woolworths. It says it goes on light and it dries bright. And then we've got the tulip. The tulip range I've been using. So I've used the tulip crystals, so they're dimensional fabric paint, but they give you a shimmery effect, which you may or may not be able to see here. I've only got 4 of those. I'm sure they do them in 5. I'm sure they do them in other colours. What other ones? This is tulip matte and pearl. So this colour was used as the main colour, and then I use this around the edges. Let me unravel it a bit, and then I've used dimensional paint. To create these shapes. I went through a stage where, you know, like I've got these paints, it doesn't feel like I've used them. It's just like, as much as I'm trying to work through them, I've still got, this is like this did all of this, and I've still got, it still feels full. And then with the shimmery bit, I've added bits on here. And yeah, it's still, well, this is half full. So, so what's the other one that I wanted to show you? The ones where you can use it on different surfaces, I've brought. I think this one actually was free as part of a magazine. So this is a glossy one. I've got the black to this as well. And then I've got fabric paint that I've decanted into these spray bottles. It worked for a while and then it got clogged. And so what I end up doing is just trying to add this to fabric, and we can have a play around with that as well. And I'll show you some of these. I put these in these containers to try and get a thinner line, so when I was doing mark making you would get a thinner line. Yeah, but again, you know, sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. And we've got these, they say puffy paints in these neon colours. Again, using it on fabric, you can also use it on other surfaces as well. But it's mainly for fabric for smaller detail. That's why they come in such small bottles. We've got 3D glitter paint, and then this, again, dimensional fabric puff paint. So let me show you how I would work with these. So some of the pieces, so I've got pieces here that I've made the first mark on. We're gonna actually just experiment on these, because the idea that I was gonna have for these was that I was gonna colour in each bit. I haven't got time for that. So like this, I was gonna do something similar to this, and this is with the fabric pens. Which one should we go with first? I just usually use a palette knife, and as I say, I would not necessarily be working to a specific idea. It's just about playing with the fabric and the colour. So with the puffy paint, sometimes I'll allow it to be, you know, like dry puffy, or I might use the palette knife and spread it out. Okay, so let me just do it like this. So I would just apply a bit to the surface. It does say matte, and I would just work on the fabric and draw the paint down. I would use more than one so that we could get some blend in as well. And let's try. It's separated and dried. It's kind of gone rubbery. So that's what will happen to some of these paints if you leave them for too long. And that's why I was making up quite a lot of fabric pieces, because I wanted to use up and these colours together. Don't look too bad. So I would just, you know, take a big piece of fabric and then just play, add in colour. And which one should we? Let's try this green puffy paint. But I wouldn't use it as that. I would, as I said, just add a few colours and see what you get. The other thing you can do is work through a stencil. You can get some nice effects with the stencils. Okay, that's the 3 colours, and I'll just draw them down. So as I've drawn them down, it doesn't look too bad. Or, as I say, I can just, you know, make some marks like this, but I don't normally do that with these kind of puffy paints. So I like that colour. We've got the blue and the orange going on there. And let me add, this now is the tulip crystal dimensional paint with some kind of glitter in it. And that's what made me start to think that, you know, well, maybe all of these ones, especially will work on one of these. Just add glitter. I've got a load of glitter. I've got a load of these paints. Let's make up some fabric, and as I say, I would normally work on a bigger piece. And maybe because we've got quite a lot, that's what we'll do. Okay, so that's just a small piece with these puffy pens. Let's get another piece of fabric. So I'm thinking of doing something on here, and by the time we've finished with all of these, you'll be able to see. I'm going to cut it in half. So the other thing that I would do is see, we've got this nice piece. So I've just got these are kind of fluorescent-y colours, and this is probably all I've got of these ones. As I said, I'd put them in these containers, but found that they let me see, I bet you this one will spray. Yeah, they just get clogged up. So I can either, here's my palette knife. Ideally, you'd want it to spray, but what I would do is just go around just adding and just enjoying the colours. So this is so vibrant. And I wouldn't risk, actually, do you know what I would do? I'm going to do is put it, oh my gosh, and get a paintbrush. This is a gorgeous colour. I'm going to put, see, I'm putting it on this palette here. Ooh. So these are kind of very fluorescent-y colours. And yeah, unfortunately the doesn't matter if they mix there. Unfortunately the spray bottles don't work, so we're just going to free form, and I'm going to get some stencils as well, and you can see how these look as we play with them. So I've got a range of different stencils I would use. I like a lot of the ones that I've recycled. They have got really nice pattern and shape to them. Some of them, you know, like have some quite nice effects that you can get. Or I've got your traditional kind of stencils. I use these ones a lot with the fabric. And we'll take this one as well. Actually, we'll take a different one because we've used that one before. Let's take this one. Okay. And one of the things that I might have brought back is the one that we worked on earlier. I would allow, actually no, I'll just allow that to, I would allow that to dry. Okay, but we're going to play with the stencils and these colours. And I'm just going to put these pieces just randomly over the fabric. These are my favourite shapes, they're recycled lids. Okay, I've got a broad brush. I'll take some of the water out of it. Okay. So, let's do this one here. So you just take your stencil, and you just work around the piece, adding we're going to work around this way. So I would just continue to play with this. So I've played with these fabric colours. I haven't finished using them all, in the sense that, you know, there's still some in there. So now I'm going to add some of these colours on there, the matte. I haven't actually used these ones in stencils, so it'd be interesting to see. So it's filling up. As you can see, we've got the different stencils and the patterns. The one that's kind of dominating is the flowers and these ones. So now I might go in and use some of these. Try with this one first. Okay, so this one I can use as a tip, a fine tip, or like, you know, be drawing lines and stuff, or I've put it out on the palette. I can again maybe try and get some shapes going. or just paint an area. It's nicer to kind of have some shapes with the stencils. So I could say take a bit and then just add to maybe an area. You know, do a particular shape. I could do a circle. Cool. Might do a few small ones. So with the aim of just having fun with your supply. Again, sometimes it seems like, you know, you're trying to use up this paint, but it's never ending. We're going to use some of the shimmery ones now. I'm down to, so some, like this is my favourite colour. So what I would generally do with this is, you know, use it in small areas and just run it along the fabric, because what you're going to get is you're going to get where I put this, it's going to be shimmery. It's got a really lovely effect, especially on darker colours. But this is then now just again adding elements to the surface, because I could end up, you know, be cutting this up and using it in smaller areas. Or the other thing that I use these for is to write words. So I'll write encouraging words or shapes, more swirls. Okay, so I've done it in several places, but I want to draw the paint down. I don't need it to be three-dimensional. I just want to actually put this that way. Spread it out. Neon orange. Oh, it's very bright, isn't it? It's nice when it goes in between colours, but you can still see the bits underneath. Let's try it again here. So I'm just adding the colour in a circle, but then using the palette knife to draw it out, and then you get a nice kind of Okay. I really like that. So you see how easy it was to use and then play on the fabric surface. So we've got a riot of colour going on in there, and it's going to be nice actually to work on it. Maybe I'll work in smaller bits, I'll cut it up, or I'll add some more writing, which with the scribbles I like doing that. So, or I will add like spirals on there, like that looks nice, I like that. And some more mark making, but not, I don't want it coming up dimensionally too much. So yeah, just adding lines and squiggles in areas that I think, oh, that could use a bit more. And again, the materials are fairly inexpensive. You can get the cotton sheets at, you know, like your dollar store. You can buy the bigger sheets, pillowcases, and just the iridescent paints. Again, they do make for a nice finish. You can do similar with acrylic paints. You can get metallic and use that on fabric, but again you'll want to gesso the surface first. I didn't gesso this because I didn't need to with these fabric paints, but I could have added gesso and you would have they wouldn't have soaked in as much. I would have got to use, like, especially the ones that I first put on, the inks. So you could go on and on. Keep going and adding your marks until you come to a natural stop and you just think, right, okay, I'm done now. Okay, I think that's the last one. You still see the spiral, but you see the green spread out. Okay, so you'll get to see some of the other effects as we go over the weeks. We've still got to work with Inktense pencils. We've done the glitter. Got Inktense pencils I wanted to show you as well, and some of the acrylic paints. Okay, so I'll see you soon.